Nick Scryer belonged to Mindgate, an organization that dealt not in weapons or soldiers, but in thoughts. Hidden currents of the mind that could be bent, broken, or controlled. Gifted with rare psychic ability, he served as one of their most valuable agents, moving through unseen battles fought far beyond the physical world. When a splinter faction known as the Movement began to rise from within Mindgate's own past, Nick was chosen for a mission unlike anything he had faced before. He would not storm their stronghold or confront them with force. Instead, he would disappear into their ranks. To survive the Movement's relentless psychic scrutiny, Mindgate made a final, irreversible decision. Nick's memories were erased. His powers were sealed away. Stripped of identity, purpose, and even the knowledge of who he truly was. He was sent into the darkness as a stranger to himself, accompanied by only a fellow agent, Sarah Blake, who carried the burden of remembering everything he could no longer. After the infiltration succeeded, Nick Scryer finally reunites with Sarah Blake in the shadows of the enemy stronghold. Without ceremony, she presses an injector into his arm, releasing the memories Mindgate had taken from him. They do not return all at once. Fragments surface slowly, each piece sharpening his awareness of the danger surrounding them. Guided by the instincts and echoes of who he used to be, Scryer moves through the facility that holds him, mapping its corridors and uncovering the blueprints Blake needs to finish the operation. At her direction, he plants 3 concealed warheads, deep within the structure. Before escaping, he confronts and kills John Levon, the architect of their mind control army. Scryer and Blake lift away in the waiting helicopter as fire consumes the compound below. Their escape leads them to another hidden site, where they uncover a mysterious artifact known as Luna 1. Scryer claims it, sensing its importance even before he understands it. But trust fractures quickly. When he meets Blake again, she asks to take the artifact. And later, during his confrontation with the movement's telekinetic master, Edgar Barrett, the truth is revealed. Blake had already handed Luna 1 over to the enemy. Scryer follows Barrett's trail to another hidden installation, leaving Blake behind with more questions than answers. Inside the cold, echoing corridors, he encounters Kamiko Jones, a quiet, uncertain member of the movement who no longer believes in its cause. From her, he learns the truth of Luna 1. It is only a fragment of something far older and far more powerful, an artifact called a Monolith, whose scattered pieces once shaped the desperate struggles of World War II and the silent tensions of the Cold War. The wars of history, she implies, were never fought for land alone. Deeper within the facility, the movement's mistress of illusion, Wei Lu, turns the corridors into nightmares. She summons visions of Scryer's fallen allies, twisted to shambling echoes of the dead, forcing him to relive grief meant to break his will. He pushes through the deception and confronts her directly. When the illusion gives way to desperation, she reshapes herself into something monstrous, and Scryer is left with no choice but to end her. Blake appears again in the aftermath, denying betrayal even as Scryer accuses her of standing with the enemy. Whether she lies or truly believes her own words, he cannot tell. With trust shattered, he presses onward alone until he reaches the heart of the complex. There, the general, the leader of the movement, prepares a monolith within the vast machine fueled by the raging pyrokinesis of Merlina Kessler, and halts the process, but only for a moment. The general escapes, taking the monolith with him. Alarms rise as the fusion reactor begins to tear itself apart. With time collapsing around them, Scryer boards a helicopter to continue the pursuit, chasing the general into the unknown. Behind him, Kamiko Jones remains in the dying facility, choosing sacrifice over escape as she struggles to contain the coming explosion. Scryer's pursuit leads him far from the steel corridors and burning reactors to an ancient temple carved into silence itself, a place where the air trembles with unseen wings. Invisible creatures circle the ruins, hunting at the command of Nicholas Wrightson, the movement's master of remote sight. Within the temple, Scryer finds Blake alive, a captive. She presses a small device into his hand, guiding him to an uplink hidden among the stone. When he activates it, a pulse tears through the sky, driving the unseen beast back into the dark. From the shadows emerges Tanya, Sarah Blake's long missing twin. She confesses to murdering her parents and stealing Luna 1 from Scryer herself. Before Scryer can force answers from her, Wrightson strikes again, seizing Sarah and retreating behind a sealed protective hatch. Desperation gives Scryer strength enough to break it open. Exposed to the very creature he once commanded, Wrightson is dragged screaming into their unseen dimension, the temple swallowing the sound. Scryer descends alone through the winding caverns until he reaches the heart of the ruin, where the General and Edgar stand beside the awakened Monolith. The moment the device stabilizes, the General turns on Barrett and kills him without hesitation. No power is meant to be shared. He activates the Monolith and ascends in a storm of psychic force. But Scryer endures, drawing in the raw energy spilling from the machine. He turns the Monolith's own strength against his master and strikes the General down, ending the long shadow of the movement's command. In the stillness that follows, helicopters appear on the horizon, Mindgate forces arriving at last. Then, Scryer's final memories return. Understanding floods in too late. Just as the helicopters pivot in the sky and their weapons turn towards him, the truth remains unspoken. And before the answer can be known, the story fades into silence.